Hello and welcome to Volts Energies. My name is Sebastian. I'm the owner at Volts Energies, and today I will be showing you our latest liquid container. Okay, so I'll explain you a little bit more about this first container. I'll come back to the second one later. So this one has 8 solar panels, 410 watts LG. That gives us a little bit over 3,200 watts of solar power. It's, as you can see, we can see only 2 in the front of the container, but we have 3 on each side. So from the morning to late in the afternoon, we'll have power. Whenever the sun goes up in the morning, we'll start having power on one side, full power around noon on this side, and in the afternoon we'll have power on the third side. Okay, and so this is our second liquid. The liquid container with the solar post in it. Since it's going to be installed pretty far where we cannot make cement in the ground, we'll be using this system. We have a post with 8 solar panels. Those panels are V-Sun 480 watts bifacial. So it will give us a little bit more than 3,800 watts of power. More when we have the bifacial effect. And now let's see the protection on those on this container. So we're using the Benny combiner box. In this box we have breakers, 2 breakers, because we have 2 strings of 4 panels in series, and then we have surge arresters on each one of the strings. As you can see, we have the solar connectors here, so we identify them 1 and 2 positives, 1 and 2 negatives, and we have the ground that will be connected as well. We didn't connect it yet, but this will be connected. And then we go to the other container into a breaker box. If you want to follow me, I'll show you the breaker box. So as you can see here, we have the other MC4 connectors, 2 positive, 2 negatives, the ground, and then we're going into this breaker disconnect box where we can disconnect from the other container from it. And now I will show you the back of the solar racking. So as you can see, you have the head of the post there and the main beam, and all the panels are installed with aluminum rails and brackets. So it's really sturdy for any kind of winds. Will be very resistant. Okay, now let's talk about the liquid number 1, the one that has all the power, batteries, inverters, and everything. So as you can see, we have 2 louvers over here. The first louver is the air out. So since we have a generator in this room, we need to expel the hot air with the small one, and we need to take some air in with this one here. So this is for the generator part. We have 2 boxes here. The first box is the AC output, so 120 to 40. We have a 30 amp twist lock plug over here, so customer will be able to connect the twist lock here and anything he wants to provide power to. And we have the AC input auxiliary here, another 120 to 40 plug, 30 amp, but this one is in case our generator fails inside, we can connect a second generator and be able to recharge batteries and power loads. And here we have the exhaust. So this exhaust serves 2 purposes. The first one is for the generator exhaust and the heating system exhaust as well. Okay, so now let's see what's inside this container. We'll start with the generator. Here we have a Cummins 7.5 kilowatt generator. It is 120 to 40 volts AC, 60 hertz. We use that generator to provide the charging to the batteries and provide the loads if we need. This generator, you can see if you come closer, you'll be able to see the exhaust system. We protect it because this is going to get hot. And the exhaust system is for the generator, but also we installed a SPAR D5 heating system in it, and we're just sending the exhaust in the same to get outside. This SPAR will be used to heat the other side of the room where we have the batteries to make sure that we can recharge at any temperature. So this container is very well insulated. We're using polyurethane walls, 4 inches, and then we have extra insulation on the roof as well. So here we have the Group 31 battery. This is to start the generator. Over here we have a Victron Energy Blue Smart charger. This is connected into the inverters, and we want to make sure that battery is always full when the generator needs to start to recharge the batteries. If we go a little bit higher here, we have plugs, junction box for the AC output, and over here we have the automatic remote start gen. That means we can turn this on or off if we want it. If, for example, we don't want the generator to start with a signal from the inverter when we're doing maintenance, so we'll just close this, put the breaker off here, and then put the switch off. We can do a maintenance on the generator safely. We're using as fuel reserve because when we do commercial system like this, you really need to have a good reserve in case there's no sun. We have a ROT fuel tank here, which has all the connections. We added a fuel pump in here to make sure that we're not going to run out of fuel on the generator. This is the vent. And here's a small fire extinguisher we've installed for safety. Okay, so let's turn on the light. We're using a timer on the light, so we make sure that we're not spending energy if we don't really need it. Okay, now the most interesting part, the solar part. So if you want to come with me here, I'll explain you a little bit what this is. We've done a system with 2 multi-plus 2 inverters. We have 6,000 watts of power at 120 to 40 volts. So we have the master and the slave. Those inverters, we installed 2 transfer switch on them. So the first one is a bypass in case we have a problem with the inverters. We can bypass them and work only on the generator. And over here we have a transfer switch that will switch between the indoor generator and another generator that we could connect on the outside. Over here we have the heating thermostat, which works with the SPAR system. So if it gets too cold in here, then the SPAR will start to work and send us some hot air. And over here we have the panel that distribute the power across the container. So it's 120 to 40. We have a maximum of 6,000 VA, and we have 4 outlets on this one. Okay, and here we have the solar part. So total we have 3 MPPT. We're using the smart solar charge controller from Victron Energy. We have a 250 volts, 85 amps on the solar post. And then we have 2 other MPPTs for the panels all around the container. So we're using the 150-35 for the 2 panels in front. And we're using the 250-60 for the panels on the sides. We're using 250 volt MPPTs because we put the panels in series. So we have 3 panels in series. They're close to 50 volts each. So 150 volt will be too close to the maximum voltage. This is why we're using those 250. And on the other one in the front, we only have 2 panels in series. So 150 volts is more than enough. So as you can see here, we have the protections on the system. So we have the surge protector for the 250/60. 2 inputs, one for each side of the containers, east and west. And then we have the MPPT output breakers. Then we have the surge protector for the 150/35, MPPT input, output, output of the container as well. Okay, now let's talk about the communication of the system. Since it's a complete Victron energy system, we'll be using the Servo GX. On this servo, we're connecting the inverters, the solar MPPTs, and the batteries will be connected to it as well. So we have all the information on that small screen here. As you can see right now, the inverter is inverting. We have 30 watts of loads. You can see both lines. Batteries are at 76%. We're getting almost 4,000 watts of solar in the batteries. DC power 12 watts. This is what the system consumes right now. And the PV chargers are over 4 kilowatts of solar panels. So we're doing pretty good right now. Batteries will be recharged pretty quick. So now let's talk about the capacity of this system. This is the battery reserve. We're using the PylonTech US 5000. So we have 6 of them. The 6 of them are in parallel, as you can see with the connections. And we have the communication cable, BMS, that goes into the servo over here. So the servo will take the information from the batteries and send it to the screen so we can see the state of charge. We can see the voltage of the batteries as well. Those batteries will give us around 30 kilowatt of battery reserve. Those batteries are connected through Link's distributor. So all the batteries are connected on one side, and on the other side we connected the inverters and the solar MPPTs. So it makes a very sturdy and safe distribution. No one can touch. We also closed everything to make sure no one can touch any cables in this installation. So here we have the heating system. We get the heat from the SPAR to this room through that conduit here. And as you can see, it goes right away to the SPAR system over here that is controlled by a thermostat that we just saw inside. We're also using a residential air conditioning in this one. Usually we use commercial models. Since this is going pretty much up north, we don't really need something commercial because it's not going to work much, but we still need it in case we have too much heat over here when the solar panels are charging at full capacity. Okay, so let's talk about the communication now. This system will be connected to a satellite system, so we'll be able to have access remotely through VRM Victron. This is a Victron energy platform. And as you can see over here, we can have access to everything that happens in the container. So I have the temperature, I have the PV charging. Now we're charging 4,124 watts. DC power is 7 watts, and batteries are 70%. So it says that we're charging over 4 kilowatt. What's really good about this is that we have advanced settings where I can get more information in graphs, and we can play with it. For example, let's make this bigger. So I have the AC output voltage and current here, and I could even zoom to see, okay, I want to know what happened between 9:20 and 9:30. Then I can zoom and everything will follow. The AC output, the AC input, the solar charge, PV yield, battery voltage and current, and then I have the solar charger, PV yields. There's many more options that we can have with the widgets here. Then you can choose whatever you need. And this will help us remotely to do a diagnostic if something happens. Let's say that the customer doesn't have AC input, DC output. He has a voltage drop on the battery side, on the inverter. then we can help the technician or the person that will be on site to fix the problem as soon as possible. So let's see inside of this second container. It's pretty straightforward. We just install the post inside. This is going to be filled with rock, so it's not going to move. Thank you for watching. So that was our latest Liquid container we've done. You can visit our website, liquid.ca, to have more information. We'll be putting out more content, pictures, project that we've done. As you can see, we have another one beside here, the orange one. We will talk about this one in the next video. Thank you very much.